the startup and how the youth is going to create a new bundle and new ventures into the ecosystem. So students, this was a small video where they are showing that how we need to start the opportunity. So today it would be a new day for you guys with a new session. So here we would be starting our new days where we are going to start and see what are the innovations and how the startup ecosystem enablers from the region can help us. So So what would be the flow of my presentation? That would be the introduction. Then we would be studying about the startups and MSMEs, because many of the students get confused that what are the startups and what is MSMEs. Next, the third content would be about need for promoting startups, why there is a need to promote startup, and why the entrepreneurial culture in India has developed suddenly after the COVID has hit us badly. And next would be innovation and what and how the impact of on economics take place. Next point would be about startups unveiled. Next would be what are the different programs and policies by governments has been given to us where we can start our startups. Then what are the funding support, how the venture capital is going to play a major role in this, how the angel investors are going to take place, what are the different technology hubs where we can go create more and more relationship building, and how we can access or we can share our knowledge with other segment people, then how the market is going to be assessed by the program managers, and then in the end I would be telling you about the conclusion, what are the key takeaways about your this presentation. So first of all, let's talk about MSME sectors. So what is MSME sectors? So small, medium, and entrepreneurships. So everyone is aware about that. So it has globally acknowledged as an instrument. And why this is known as an instrument? Because economy's growth and the development basically depend on the MSMEs sectors, as it always play a vital role in generation of new employment. If there is MSME sectors, the employment generation would be more. The more power, the more economy is going to be grow. Then there is a significant contribution of economy of India because of MSME sectors, export, import, that we can see every day to day routine. Every export is going, some import is coming in into our country. So there is a exchange just because of our MSME sectors. And the fourth point is it has shown a remarkable growth over the last decades. If we talk about ways in 19th era, so earlier if we have gone through the mercantilism theory or trade theory, so what we see that earlier in old eras the gold used to be get traded in, or the barter system was there, and suddenly and slowly the rapid change came, and now all the transactions are being done into the monetary terms, so economy is growing, right? Next would be the classification of MSMEs. So before till June 30, 2020, so there was the classification between micro, small and medium. And as on from 1st of July 2020, there was a revised MSME classification which was given by the government. So earlier what happened, MSME just give the information or just provide the funds to the three segments, that was micro, small, medium, and the services or the machinery, or we can say the manufacturing enterprises. So three segments were there, in which if the investment is more than rupees 25 lakhs, that particular company would be holding the micro level. And if the investment is more than 25 lakhs till 5 crores, then it was known as small manufacturing industry. And if the investment was more than rupees 10 crore, it was known as medium. And the second sector was service or enterprise, in which the MSMEs classification was there, in which the investment, if the investment is more than rupees 10 lakhs, it was known as micro. If the investment is more than 2 crores, it was known as small. And the medium was considered into the bracket of investment more than 5 crores, then it was known as it used to come under the MSME sectors. So the investments were done into only two parts, that was into either into the machinery enterprise, or either equipments, or either second was the service enterprise. And now after 30th June 2020, what we can see that the government has given a revised classification. So in that revised classification, the amount has been differently and totally changed, the manufacturing servicing. So how they are catering now in manufacturing industry, if the investment, so they have also added the turnover, the annual turnover is also now included. So if an investment is more than rupees 1 crore, and the turnover of that particular manufacturing industry or the service enterprise is more than 5 crores, then it will fall into the category of micro. And the small goes with the more than investment of 10 crores and the turnover with more than 50 crores, then it would be known as small industry. And the medium bracket was given as the more than 50 crores and the total turnover, the annual turnover of that particular organization or a company should be more than 250 crores. So only then it will be known as the medium industry, medium MSME enterprise. So, what are the different benefits of MSME registration? As we have to register our company, enterprise, we have to register. And if we are registered under the government, so we are going to get the tax rebates. There are open government tenders in which we can fill up the tenders, we can apply for that easily. We get easy credit access from banks, or either the civil record is very improved if we are registered only then. Fourth is the loan limit of rupees 1 crore can be availed. For example, I have already invested my money and now I don't have any contingency amount for my equipments, for my material, or for my purchase intentions, right? Or for my labor or for my equipment. So I can apply a loan, and that loan could be availed till rupees 1 crore. So that is a benefit if we are going to register our MSME enterprise. And the fifth is that we get the government license, and certifications part become very easier for us to showcase us into the market that yes, we are an enterprise. So that was the MSME. I hope that is clear. So now further we'll start with the startups. So what are the startups? So there are various, not a particular definition. So we can just say that startups are always into three parameters. First is committed, scalable, and innovative. So we need to be very committed, right? We should be aware that what we need to start, what could be the functions, what would be the objectives, what are the key hypotheses of our startups, how it is going to be benefit. Second is it should be a scalable, like if we are going to start make our startup, so our friends should be joining us, or we can recruit people, or we can help to our society for that. And it should likely to look for the funding agencies also. When we are doing any startup, so everyone is not born with a golden spoon, so we need to look after that from where we are going to get the funds, whether our particular startup or initiative is that appropriate, that we are going to nurture the industry or the society, we are going to be benefit for them, or it is just a normal startup. So that we need to see. And the third part is innovative. That is that we need to create new inventions into the market that should be newly created. And in current scenario where you have seen the IT industries has taken a a major role. So that should involve the technology and innovation element into it. For example, few days back, the Lisa news anchor is outside into the market. So from AI, the news reporting is done now. So she is the first news anchor. So you can see how the AI, the technology, the startup, how the things are taking participation, and they are just changing whole scenario into the worldwide. So how the startup impacts? So first is the innovation we need to know, and how the innovation is going to lead and impact on our economics. So innovation is just not about inventing something totally new. We can be creative, we can always uh, improve the existing ideas. For example, in way back when there were no clocks, no alarm clocks, how we used to get up early in the morning through the hens or cock's voice only. And early morning we used to get, okay, the sun is rising, that means morning is there, time dials were there. Then slowly and steadily we started tracing the shadows. Then after that the normal watches used to come. Now there are digital watches. Now even you can see that there are the alarm clocks has been invented, where if we are putting an alarm say of 6 o'clock, and if we are not getting up, the alarm clock start running. So until unless we are not running behind that alarm clock and pushing the button to stop it, it's not muting itself. So that is the improvement of ideas. We can see earlier we used to see that the drones are only into the airs, but now there are few people who are creating the drones that would be working underwater, so where we can see the new things into the ocean or sea level. So that ideas, that new improvement is being done. So it will always make the product more efficient, valuable, and impactful for the society. It will always drive or propel the industry forward. It will foster our economic growth, and there would be always some societal challenges which we always face. So it is going to be helpful. So when this innovation takes part, so there is a huge impact on our economics also. Like there is a ripple effect of innovation, and we can see that the economics, the global scale is extending or widening a huge. Why huge? Because just because of new innovation, new companies are going to set up, new products are going to generate, and those products needs to be generated by people. So new jobs are being attracted, new investments would be flowing, and accordingly these are. Yes. So I was telling you that every time, so if there is a new jobs, that is always going to attract new investments into our own and enterprise, and there would be a stimulation of economic growth also. So nations that prioritize the innovation, that they always foster a competitive edge into the international arena also, and it is going to crave out a distinctive identity in the modern world. We need to know that who are we, or what we are going to do. So that is the startup. Next, a very good example, if we talk about earlier, there were no smartphones used, right? So the smartphone came into the market. There was a paradigm shift into the communication. Earlier, we used to just write the letters, and after 10 or 15 or 20 days or months, it used to take to circulate one information to the other. But now, see, just what happened right now. I just got disconnected. Ma'am just messaged me, so the communication has been so fast these days. So that is a one example. So how it happened? Because someone had thought of, yes, we can create some small device which can be carried forward. Then WhatsApp came into the place. So these all are the innovation. So students, we always need to think, or we always need to shape our future and create new opportunities for ourselves. That how the idea is going to evolve a particular industry or a particular institute. Why to go around the world? First we can just sit into the our institute only, and we can see what is missing, what is our requirement being as a student, how we can fulfill that requirement, what new device we can create. आप क्लास में बैठ के ही सोच सकते हो कि अच्छा मुझे बैठने में चेयर ही ऐसे कंफर्टेबल नहीं लग रही है, अच्छा होता कि इसमें एक चार्जिंग पोर्ट मिल जाता, राइट? So that is a ideation that you are going to create, and you guys can make a group of 3 or 4 people and start working on that innovation. So उसी से startup कर सकते हो. Like yesterday only 3 or 4 students of mine came with a very brilliant idea that ma'am, yes, we have this idea, we wanted to work for this idea, and today they are writing a proposal that we are going to provide them seed funding. So funding मिल जाती है. When we think of this in mind कि पैसे कहाँ से आएंगे, we don't come from the very good families where our parents are going to support us. So that is not a scenario. Today the government has stand-up startups website, and then MSMEs are there, and where there are angel investors. For that further topic, I'll start. So there are many ventures who are going to help us. Even the universities or institutes are the first people who are going to take the initiative, and they are helping the students to create a startup. Bits Pilani, what they have done, there are 6 to 7 startups of their own. IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore, IIT Delhi. So every institute now the students are focusing on their own startups. If we talk about BTech Chai Wala is there, right? Now the Burger King आ गए. कहाँ से आए? कहीं ना कहीं से startups आए हैं. Ola, Swiggy, Grofers is there. So Blinkit is there. So many startups are there into the market these days. You just need to think a different idea, pitch it, and the things would be on your table. So how the startups are going to unveil? So startups are young, dynamic companies which are characterized by their own drive to disrupt the traditional markets with innovative solution. पुराने ज़माने की चीज़ों को थोड़ा सा change करके modulate करके what new creation we are going to get into the place that are the startup people doing, and they are often operating on the technology intensive sectors, and they are aiming that a new product or a new service need to be rendered to the industries. And startups are fueled by passion, ambition, and a determination to bring their vision to a life. For example, I just told you कि अगर चेयर पे बैठने में या टेबल पे बैठने में आपको प्रॉब्लम हो रही है क्लास के बेंचेस से, तो जस्ट थिंक व्हाट डिफरेंट यू कैन क्रिएट and bring into the market. So that would be a totally different scenario, and you can just think of कि ये मैंने business कैसे grow करना है. Same example now I have, for example, eco ride. What is the eco ride? Eco ride, what the people have seen कि market में भीड़ बहुत traffic बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाता है, and there we don't have any sustainable and efficient transport solution. So they just came with a eco ride um, bike where they have just mitigated the traffic congestion, pollution उन्होंने कम किया है, and that is a cost effective mode of transportation. So they had an innovative idea. They related it with the technology. It was very accessible and convenient for users. So this vision always aligned for the change of need for our region, that what change is required in our own zone, and then they just enabled it with the ecosystem, and it has always positively impacted our community as well as. So what are the different programs and policies? So government has actively engaged in designing and implementing different initiatives that are tailored made according to your needs. The government has provided the different policies that how you are going to stimulate or innovate with a support system for the startups. They have created a different range of innovation hubs, research centers, and even now there are in institutes we have startup cells also, innovation cells also, where the outside industries are shaking the hands with institutes so that we can create something for them. So we always need to think out of the box whenever we are working for anything. And by these promoting collaborations between startups and industries, there is a cross pollination. Cross pollination is that there is a growth, there is a multiplication of ideas, that how we are going to get these different ideas into the system, and we can create a community which has new ideas, new ventures into the society. So first is Innovation Catalyst Program, that is ICP program. So it was launched by our regional government itself. In the initiative, this initiative provides the early stage startups which access to co-working spaces are provided, mentorship is provided, and funding for a prototype development. Prototype development is a proper designing of that particular model or which you are bringing into the industry. So they are going to support you. A proper mentoring is going to be provided, and a proper space is going to be provided by the Innovation Catalyst program. And by nurturing a collaborative environment, this program also empowers that how the experienced experienced industry professionals are going to come, uh, talking or discussing about your idea, changing their perspective, and or either even sometimes what happens, they give you the problem statement, and when you start working on those problem statements, and a new startup or a new thing comes into the mind. If there are any management students, so then they'll start thinking कि मैम हम तो डिज़ाइन नहीं बनाते, we are not from इलेक्ट्रिकल और सीएस में हम कोड्स नहीं क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, बट management guys, there are so many models which we can reframe and bring into the industry. What EY does, what McKinsey does, वो audit किस लिए करते, they just go into the industry and they enhance the performance of the employees over there by giving the different models by uh, और वो मॉडल्स कैसे आते हैं, फॉर एग्जाम्पल एवरी वन हैव heard about SWOT analysis. What is SWOT analysis? So they do that. अब SWOT analysis को ही आप अगर change कर देते हो उसके आगे further channels or branches if you start studying, so there are multiple alignments which you can study. So being into management, we can work on different models which are going to be a key beneficial areas into different industries which they use. Even EY does the same. They have their own models in which they just assess the whole system of the organizations of the industry, and people ask them to come sit in their organization to use their own model and see कि हम अपने employees को और productivity कैसे increase कर सकते हैं. So this is particularly for management students, because this question come into the mind whenever I take session for my students or other college students. So they just say कि मैम how we are going to work, we don't have any equipments कि हम कोई robot बना दे या हम कोई coding language create कर दे. So this is the line where you can take any model. For example, there is TPB model, theory of planned behavior. So how the behavior is linked with your attitude, with your intention, with your action, with your culture, with your thinking, with your family, friends, with your status. So that behavior can also be changed. That would be a wholesome new story, new model into the market. Maslow hierarchy theory अगर आपने पढ़ा होगा, so that they had only 5 segments. Now they have 7 segments. So that is a new model into the market, right? So next is the funding support. So nurturing enterprises and R&D. So whenever we are getting some funding support from the government, so there are some grants, there are some subsidies. We need to take the projects into the um, government authority, and we need to tell them that yes, this is my startup project. So if you can reduce the burden, so they provide you early stages fundings also, so which can lead to startup. So there are some tax benefits also to incentivize entrepreneurship and innovation. Government often provide the tax breaks ups are there or deductions are there relevant for the startups, and these are always benefits enables startups to allocate more resources to research, development, and growth by facilitating their particular supports. Next is how these nurturing entrepreneurship and R&D or funding is going to help. For example, I'm just taking an example of ecotech innovation. Imagine like we have just started up with the innovation. So that is focusing on developing sustainable solution by using the waste management technique. So our regional government offers a substantial grant through Green Tech Development Fund itself, जो कि support करेगा for the people who are working environmentally friendly technology, for they are working for environment itself. So this grant will not only provide ecotech innovations with the necessary funds, but उसको refine करने के लिए उनके innovations कितनी refine करेंगे, that is also going to be fostered under this Green Tech Development Fund. So, in essence of this government initiative is always to give the funds, support the startup industry or a student, and then they work as a launch pad for startups to turn their visions into the reality. जब तक हमारा विजन ही नहीं होगा हमारी reality कैसे होगी? Reality को लाने के लिए there are government schemes, there are supporters who are going to fund or who are going to invest. Next is venture capital. So venture capital is also known as the fueling ambition with expertise. So venture capital kya hai? So venture capital firm are the instruments. These are the instruments who provides the startups with not just only financial support but also a strategic guidance that what are the key steps we need to take. What would be your first step, second step? For example, if we are going to prepare our startup plan, so we should have a business idea before ahead. So what would be our first parameter, second parameter, third? आपके कैश फ्लोज कैसे आएंगे, आपके बुक्स कैसे क्लोज होंगे इन स्टार्टिंग 2 or 3 years, the amount that would be you are not going to earn anything. After third or fourth year you are going to earn, तो उसको कैसे survive करना, what would be the contingencies you need to take, what would be the risk mitigation strategy you need to. So all the strategic guidance is being taken care by the industry experts if you apply through venture capital, and these firms invest substantial sums of money in exchange for the equities in your startups, या फिर or either they align their own interest with the startup's growth perspective. अगर आपने Shark Tank देखा होगा, so what they do, if they have a alignment or same interest, so they start funding into that, right? अब role क्या होता है venture capitalist? So first is financial backing up is there, they always back you up with the capital you require. They develop products and they let you enter into the new market. Second is strategic partnership. Beyond funding, there is a mentorship. There are market insight that what is already being run into the market. They let you know about the valuable connections and they help startup navigate the different challenges. And third is the risk mitigation, which I already told you that always the risk is being calculated ahead, that what would be the risk and what would be the potentially high returns we are going to incur from this particular startup. Next is angel investors. So they are the early dreams to reality, we can say. So angel investors are individuals who personally invest their own funds into the startups when the startup industry or the startup is into the early stages of a development. So they just not only bring the financial resources but their own experiences, their industry knowledge and passion to foster or to come into or align their interest into a new innovation. And how they contribute with three different segments. First is seed funding, second is hands-on involvement, and third is flexible investments. So what are the seed funding? Seed funding is when AI, that is angel investor, provides startup with seed capital, initial amount, ताकि आपको एक किक स्टार्ट मिल जाए कि आप थोड़ा सा स्टार्ट कर दो. Then they develop some prototypes, then they validate your concepts, and then they attract the future investment if that particular startup is going to be worked into a particular alignment or into a particular sector. Then there is a hands-on involvement. They be being the shadow of your startup, they always mentor, they have their active role if they are going to invest their own funds. So make it very clear that they would be watching you up, they will be sharing their own experiences, they are going to guide you also, there are advisors who guide you. And there are flexible investments also, typically more flexible in the area, and they are willing to support for unconventional or we can say high risk ideas also whenever you are going to go for angel investors. So they are ready because they know that if there is high risk there would be high return as well, as because they are such experienced people. Next, technology hubs. So we can say are nurturing collaborations and innovations. So in this dynamic world, we can't do everything all alone by sitting into a room. So there need to be some physical spaces which cannot be underestimated. We need there are tech parks, there are clusters, there are collaborators, there are facilitators, there are knowledge sharing platforms where the ideas are being shared. आपने देखा होगा काफी बार your teachers would have been guiding you, start writing something, go for some debate, go for some business plan model ideas competition. So you need to go tabhi. If you will just get out of your comfort zone, you will start going to the industries, then only you will get to know, yes, that there is multiple, there is limitless industry outside where we can see or get the mentorship. So you need to be participative every time. So how the tech parks and clusters, they let you know about your creativity, because when you go to such physical ecosystem, so they are going to provide you that knowledge. Sometimes what happens, if we are going to a place, so we sit and then we start imbibing that system, we start absorbing all the things. उससे क्या होता है, we never know कि कब हमें कौन सा idea click कर जाता है, and we start working or start going to that particular direction. So startup take places like that only. So we need to come out of our shell and we need to get into the market to see what is missing, what I need to bring a change into the market. So only then we are going to provide something new. So there are sometimes shared resources also. For example, two different institutes come into the collaboration. They can use one's lab and the other can let the ideas known and they can work together. Second is network opportunities. For example, I have a good person who can fund, but I don't have a idea. Then what I'll do? So two people can network together, they can know what is our potential partnership and collaboration and how our different like-mindedness can create a new vision into the market, how the reality is going to come outside. And the third is knowledge transfer, that always happen if we are going to interact or establish a relation with other people also. We should not be only focused into our classes, into our books only, but we need to go out of our zone. We need to start discussing, we need to sit into our campus and think what is missing. Okay, fine, लाइब्रेरी है, लाइब्रेरी की क्रेडिट्स नहीं मिल रहे हैं, फ्री पीरियड में मैं लाइब्रेरी में चला जाता हूँ. So what we can do, we can get a scanner on our library ID cards only. कि ma'am, okay fine, for 1 hour please add my one attendance because I was sitting in library, I was doing something. So that can be done by you guys. So these different ideas needs to be shared. यही जाके आगे, because I can't tell you कि you come with a very great idea with create some robot or create huge ideas, but a very small baby steps are going to uh, make you a startup ready person. So supportive culture, as I told you, that we need to support. There are entrepreneurs who are going to take the risk. They have creativity, but you need to be that attentive that there should be a problem solving approach that needs to be celebrated at later. So, how the entrepreneurial mindset is going to cultivate a culture of innovation, how that startup is going to lead furthermore. So, creating a culture that values an entrepreneurial mindset is an instrumental for startup to flourish itself. So, we always see that what are the unexplored areas, what are the willingness to take calculated risk, how we continuously seek solution for different things. So that is that only then it will come into the mindset when we think of okay, startup क्या है basically, किसी को कोई problem आ रही है तो हमने कुछ उनके सामने present कर दिया जिससे उनकी solution उनको easily मिल गया है. So it is always a innovation which is going to flourish, which a student is having an unconventional idea, right? Second is cross-disciplinary collaboration, where we can interact between different individuals from diverse backgrounds. It should not be only that I'm going to give a solution to only a one person. It should be multiple people also. The range should be wide, and it should have a problem-solving excellence also, that we are ready to tackle any challenge with resilience and with ingenuity. That okay, fine. अगर मेरे ओला, for example you can say ola, meru, right? And then there is uber. So what is the difference into three categories? सारी हमें कैब प्रोवाइड करती हैं, but just sit and see what is the difference, the quality, the premiumness, the cars, what different they have given. So these are also the startup industries only. If we talk about growers, Blanket, and there is one more OTP. So what is the difference into these categories? कोई हमें within 10 minutes सारी हमारी ग्रोसरी हमारे घर पे पहुंच जा रहा है, कोई हमें हाफ एन आवर पे पहुंच जा रहा है. सो दैट यू कैन सी द डिफरेंस. इफ वी टॉक अबाउट डोमिनोज और पिज्जा हट, in 30 minutes delivery. So that is the key catching line they have provided. These were also into an initial stage into their startup itself. If we talk about McFlurry, Oreo, now the Oreo is very popular among the young generation, but when first time the Oreo was created in US, so काफी टाइम तक वो एक वेयर हाउस में पड़ा रहा, बिकॉज पीपल डिडंट अडेप्टेड दैट, दे डिडंट वांट टू हैव दैट बिस्किट विद दिस black shade or dark brownish shade with a cream. So what they did, they just joined the hands with McDonald's, जो आप McFlurry खाते हो. So they started taking the orders from Oreo के सारे बिस्किट्स उन्होंने लेके McFlurry एक नया प्रोडक्ट उन्होंने मार्केट में लॉन्च कर दिया. People started adapting that thing, and now see where the Oreo is into the market, right? Everybody is having 10 rupees ka bhi aata, 50 ka bhi aata. So that is also a startup. Next is how we are going to build the connections. We need to go to the events, we need to participate, we need to go to the conferences, we need to start writing, we need to start bridge that gap which we always see कि नहीं कोई और चला जाता है, छोड़ो मुझे क्यों जाना है. So that serendipitous that needs not to be done. Whenever there is any idea creation or a business plan model showcasing, so you need to come forward, you need to come with an small idea. कोई भी idea बुरा idea नहीं होता है. Anything can be come out of the box from your mind. अब किसी ने अगर कोई पेन बनाया है, so there is a pencil, then there is different shades of pencils also into the market, right? So you just need to think, and you just need to create a different opportunity for your own business into the market. And what are the different benefits of events and conferences whenever you are just go? So there are visibility, you are going to know different perspectives of the industry, you are going to get recognized, you know what is the visibility. Next is investors interest. Sometimes what happen when you go for events and when you are pitching your own idea, you never know that who the person is sitting there and what just clicks in his mind, and he can fund or support you. There are sometimes workshops also involved into the events where you get to know different ideas also. Okay, fine, this person is making a calendar. Okay, fine, I'll make a digital calendar then. That would be imbibed into my watch itself. So there is no need to hang the calendars or something. So that would be there. So there are even online communities. So that is where the knowledge sharing can be taken. So there is no geographical boundary also. If there is a person who is sitting in US and you're sitting here, your mind attract with the same idea. So you can sit, discuss, and the same product can be come in front of your table. The vision can be matched, and the dreams can convert into the reality also. So this I have already told you about, that we need to take initiatives, collaboration needs to be done. There are, I have told you, there are angel investors, there are venture capitalists into the market, seed funding is there. So that you need to just come out of your shell. And how this is going to benefit, so there is a exponential growth, diversification, and cultural insights are there whenever we are just partnershiping with corporations. So it is going to leverage our own expertise and our own networks. How? By establishing the new collaboration with the corporations where they are just seeing some startup or some valuable market access into the funds. You just need to share your idea and you need to start working on that. And even you can establish a customer base, because customer they already have. You just need to share, everyone is ready to invest into your ideas, but the idea should be very practical, it should not be here and there. You need to do your homework first before sharing anything. So key takeaways were startup ecosystem empowerment, that always there is a support, there is a mentorship, financial support is there, knowledge sharing is there. Then there are government catalysts, which I have told you, who are ready. They have government initiatives, funding are there, policies are there, which you can take. There are innovation which is going to ignite the progress through economic growth, and if you are going to address the societal challenges also, so it would be a lucrative for you guys. And there is investment infrastructure also, because you don't have any space to lend, so people are ready to lend the space also. They are going to provide you the co-working space also for your idea. Then we studied about collaborative hubs, where the cross-industry relationship or collaboration is going to be utilized. Global network, where the connections are going to be built. There is no space or gap, because in today's era, everything is online. We can connect with people. There are very expertise people who just share ideas and they can just throw a light on your idea itself. Then there are cultural pillars, as a supportive culture encourages always that risk taking factor. There is a learning opportunity and it is always going to nurture our own mindset itself, because first time karoge to it's not 100% surety that the idea would be directly pitched into the market. So we need to reform again and again to get that particular thing into the market. For example, if you go to the airports also, chocolates आती हैं, they wanted to get some different flavors, so testers रखे जाते हैं वहाँ पे, that which tester is going to be picked the most, then that particular lot come into the market. So there is a testing stage always, that we don't need to get feared of. We need to always think, yes, I can do, I have that fire in my belly and I can do this. And we should always be future opportunistic, that yes, the doors are not closed for me, there is a wide area for me, that I can share my idea here and here. Only then we are going to think that how our particular business plan or our idea is really going to create. So I just wanted to tell that the journey is not going to end here only. So it's just a checkpoint. You have just get into your induction program. The classes are going to be started. So you just need to think every day, just go with one idea or two ideas, start discussing with your friends or your peer group. Only then there would be a particular environment set up into your classroom where you can guide each other. Okay, yes, I have this idea, so let's work on this. Or either you can just take the mentor's help, which can facilitate further. And let us just continue to nurture this ecosystem by empowering startups to shape new industries, solve global problems, and let's come to a brighter future altogether, where you guys can be proudly saying to Rashmi ma'am, ki, yes, ma'am, I had this idea and now let's work together onto this. So that should be the agenda, guys. So this I have completed, and thank you for the session.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving your valuable time. It's very valuable session about innovation and especially about startup and latest government investment schemes, subsidies, packages, etc. I, on the behalf of KC Group of Institution, where I show very heartfelt vote of thanks, ma'am. Thank you so much for this beautiful session, and thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for giving your time.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
very much.
I also want.
Really, it was a very appreciable for your presentation. You have enlightened a lot of things. I hope that our students have learned, and we will try to invite you in our campus. So that will be a more effectful for our students. So thank you
Sure.
very much, Dr. Simriti. We will
Thank you.
meet soon.
Sure, definitely, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.